Welcome guys to this new Synthesize Sunday episode, and as you may saw in the intro, I'm going to try to recreate Venom's voice, which you may saw in the trailers, which I pretty like. So let me make a comparison from, well, this is the coolest scene what I've seen so far in trailers. So let me show it to you. So from this point till it says I am Venom, or we are Venom, sorry, we are going to hear the original voice, but when we get to the we are Venom line, I'm going to switch to my version. Okay, so this will be I would say a pretty cool comparison. So this is the scene.
We will eat both your arms and then both of your legs, and then we will eat your face right off your head. You will be this armless, legless, faceless thing, won't you? Rolling down the street like a turd in the wind.
What the hell are you?
We are Venom.
Okay, so this is it. Let me close the window. And I think it is pretty close. I mean, you know, what we cannot produce is the tone and the acting of Tom Hardy because he is the voice of his own voice and Venom's voice too. Well, we cannot replace it because I have a very different tone. Tom Hardy's voice is very deep. I mean, at least it's deeper than mine. But even so, my version, I would say, is pretty accurate. So let me jump into the sound itself. So I just resampled it, you know, to match it with the original rhythm of We Are Venom voice.
We are Venom.
And the original tone, well, you may suggest that it should sound something like this. The way I see. Oops, this is not what I wanted to have. Where is it? Here is it. We are Venom. We are Venom. We are Venom. So this was the original voice. Now let me jump into the I use Contact to organize all the sounds and all the layers I use. I used two layers basically. One is a top layer, just basically add some hiss onto top of the sound. We
are Venom.
This is one layer, only to add back that very high hissy kind of sound to the voice, which I would say pretty important because without that we would just hear some sort of very weird and artificial, like wobbling kind of tone on the top end.
We are Venom.
But to be honest, I like it a lot better with the tops.
We are Venom. We are Venom. We are Venom.
So I didn't use anything but Contact and a gate to get rid of those noisy tails, a multiband dynamics. You know, this is a pretty hard upward compression. So I didn't use bands. I use only one band, but it is on upward compression. And some EQ, you know, this is not only on the top, but on the whole chain. So this is the top layer basically. And let's jump to the main voice, to the main layer.
We are Venom.
So in Contact, I used two instances, but let me disable all the effects and let's hear how it sounds on itself. These two layers in Contact.
We are Venom. We are Venom.
So it's pretty crazy and it plays two voices, two notes basically, because as you can see I use a chord plugin and I shifted up the second instance, the second note by 4 semitones. So disabling that.
We are Venom. We are Venom.
This is the original stuff. And why I did that is to try out some very nice algorithm what Contact has. So let me jump into it, showing the two layers. I have a very subby layer. So this is the subby layer. And why I did that is to, you know, to try to transpose it down, but, you know, somehow keep that very basic, very subby kind of tone. And I chose the Time Machine Pro. And if I click on HQ mode, all this formant option appears. So I formant shifted down to 89%. And I don't remember if I tweaked this envelope order, but it makes some crazy stuff if you tweak that, like make it sound very glitchy. And then I filter it out, like using this SVLP1 filter, and some gains on the low end, basically, to achieve this very subby kind of sound. This was the goal, basically. Now I need to mention that I didn't use C3, which, you know, would be the original tone, original note of my voice. So I pushed it down to D2. But if I try to compare it, like this is how it sounds on C3.
We are Venom.
And on D2.
We are Venom.
So this is pretty crazy. And the formant shifting gives some very, very nice tones. Now this is only the subby part. Let's go to the main part.
We are Venom.
And basically this is the same. So HQ mode, I just tweaked the formant just a little.
We are Venom.
So this is the original tone, and on D2,
we are Venom.
we can push it down a lot more if we want.
We are Venom. We are Venom.
But I found out that, you know, the original voice is not that drastically down. I mean, it is not transposed down that drastically.
We are Venom.
So I find it at around 97 hertz, 97%. It could be cool. Now altogether, they sound this.
We are Venom.
Which is pretty crazy because, you know, it has some very, very subby. And you may ask yourself, can't we do it this in, for example, live using the Complex Pro algorithm? I would say you could, and you may achieve a very close result, but, you know, I just wanted to experiment with this. And this way I can have only one layer, I mean, only one instrument having the two layers, like, you know, the subby layer and the top layer. And this was the goal, basically. And once I had it, I found out that the original sound has some weird effects on it, like not that wobbly kind of effect, but some cabinet kind of effect. So I tried to add a guitar rig to add back that cabinet kind of tone.
We are Venom. We are Venom. We are.
It's very slight, and I used two layers, you know, the guitar rigged, the cabinet effect, and the original, you know, to blend in together, like not using 100% cabinet effect on the sound, like a few percentage only. So this is on itself, the guitar rig, the cabinet effect.
We are Venom.
So I added this sound back to the original, you know, I cut out the very lows because I don't want to conflict with the lows.
We are Venom. We are Venom. We are Venom. We are Venom.
So this is the tone what I was looking for, or sort of, but I didn't want that drastic effect on the cabinet, so I pulled it back, the cabinet effect.
We are Venom. We are Venom. We are Venom.
You know, just to add a touch of it. And this is all in this rack. Now the magic happens in the next rack, where first I use the gate, you know, to get rid of all the noises what these effects will generate. Let me turn back the chord too.
We are Venom.
Oops, but don't run ahead. And let me disable the rest of the effects. So the gate is not a very important thing here. I use a multiband compression.
We are Venom.
To blend together all this stuff. Now, this is the magic. This is where the magic happens. Because with Serum, I wanted to add this ring modulated wobbly kind of effect.
We are Venom. We are Venom. We are Venom.
So I use this ring modulator and I try to find the frequency what my voice originally contained. But I found out that this is very, very artificial. So if you use a ring modulator on only one frequency, like on one note, it would make the sound very unnatural. So this is why I used the note modifier and try to follow my pitch, the voice of my pitch, and add it to the affected version of my voice. But this was very tricky, so I decided to have my voice here and put it into Melodyne and subtract the pitch movement of my sound, of my voice. So I basically just record it. Let me just show it how I made it. It's very, very simple. Click on transfer and play the original voice. We are Venom. and it instantly grabs in. But the problem is here, as you can see, we have only 1, 2, 3, 4 MIDI notes with this, well, crazy bending, pitch bending here, which is not what we want, because if we exported it into MIDI, the MIDI file will not contain this pitch bending. So what I want to do is select this slice note separation tool and click on the note, the MIDI note, where, you know, it crosses in the middle, the pitch bending crosses in the middle, and try to separate these notes, or these, well, basically these glides into separate notes, MIDI notes, like doing this here, to here, maybe here, and maybe here, here. Well, I think we'll be this way we will be fine. So when I finish that, I clicked on Save as MIDI, and I try to use this MIDI file. You know, this is the exported MIDI file what I just created. I had to somehow send this MIDI information to Serum FX, and this is why I use the external instrument, and I selected the track what contains Serum FX, and this is the 4 instrument track. So I selected 4 instrument, and I had to select Serum FX here. So this way, this track or this external instrument tool will send the MIDI information, this MIDI stuff here, to our beautiful Serum FX. So this way, if I click on Note Ledge, I can use the note modifier, and as you can see in this modulated cutoff knob, we are Venom. It tries to follow the pitch movement of my voice. We are Venom, which is pretty cool, because if I do it, let me show it to you, it will create that very, very cool wobbling kind of effect, what you can, I'm sure you can hear it in the original Venom voice.
We are Venom. We are Venom. We are Venom. We are Venom.
And the goal was to find that sweet spot where the frequency of the ring modulation is very close to my frequency, my voice frequency. And the other thing I use is added some unison to add some fatness to my sound, and some tube distortion, but only at around 1000 Hertz, you know, to add some more presence on the middle. It's, you know, these are very, very slight effects.
We are, we are, we are, we are.
But they add together, especially with the unison and the dimension expander.
We are, we are.
And some chorus.
We are, we are.
To make it even fatter. And I didn't use this compressor. So this is the Serum FX itself. So once again, the goal was to use the ring modulator cutoff frequency to follow the pitch movement of my voice. So this is why I used this extracted MIDI from my voice and the external instrument on the MIDI track to send the MIDI information into Serum FX. So this way we will be able to use the note modifier. Maybe in other DAWs it is a lot simpler, but in Ableton this is how we can work it out. So this was Serum FX. I used an EQ to boost up the very lows. What we already did in Contact, you know, we use a different layer to subtract the sub-content of my voice, but I wanted to give a lot more. So this is why I use this effect and cut a little on the highs.
We are Venom. We are Venom. We are Venom.
But I think this is fine. I use just a slight touch of OTTs to bring up the highs.
We are, we are, we are.
And because the original voice, I checked it, doesn't contain any stereo information, I use the utility tool to, you know, make mono everything. I could use this button instead, the width knob.
We are, we are, we are.
Let me show it to you guys that the original voice does not contain any stereo information. Like here. I think this is Venom's voice.
You will find out.
Yeah. So as you can see, both of the channels are very, very the same. Like they don't have any stereo stuff, nothing on the sides. Okay, so, but I heard it too, so I didn't need to check it. I heard that it is very, very mono, if I can say that. So this is why I use this tool, utility tool, to make mono everything.
We are Venom.
And this is all basically. I use an EQ at the end of this chain, you know, with the tops and the main voice, to cut a little on the very highs and add back some middle frequencies from, well, at around 1000 Hertz and the limiter at the end. So this is all. I would say it is a little complicated, not that much complicated. The only tricky part is, you know, to somehow tell Serum to follow the pitch of my voice, and this will not be possible without extracting the pitch movement of my sound using Melodyne. But once you add that, it is not that complicated. So this was Venom's voice. I think this is a very, very nice result what I would be able to achieve here. I hope you enjoy this, and see you guys in the theater when it comes out.
We will eat both your arms and then both of your legs, and then we will eat your face right off your head. You will be this honest, legless, faceless thing, won't you? Rolling down the street like a turd in the wind.
What the hell are you?